Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Heward and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. I'm also your presenter for today's expert TV show, and I'm also TV presenter on USA Global TV and Radio for other shows including The Listening Mentor and A Woman's Prerogative. Thank you very much. Our show today is Talking Heads, and I'm an expert presenter on today's topic, which is also part of the Mind and Body Connection series. Our topic today is Reset and Renew, Managing New Year Stress and Finding Optimism. Ooh, got that bit wrong, optimism. So a warm welcome to all of our loyal viewers here as a regular viewer and here for the first time. A warm welcome to those who have just tuned in to USA Global TV and Radio into this show, my first of 2025 on the 2nd of January. A very warm welcome to all those who are looking for some nuggets and some gold to help them through their new year. New Year is a topic on many people's agenda because New Year is very topical in social media. It's very topical in all sorts of aspects. We're bombarded with what we should be doing in New Year and how we should be feeling. And this gives us an untold pressure of performing, thinking about things that we should be doing according to social media and our peers and TV. And then if we're not feeling like that, it causes us challenges. And so I'm here to share with you how New Year stress can implicate your feeling for your year ahead and how you can find optimism for this new year going forward. We are the 2nd of January. I'm time-stamping this because it's important to recognize this is the beginning of the year. On my personal social media, I posted that the 1st of January is the first day of a new book and a new page. And I found that most instilling because whatever happened previously in the previous year, however unoptimistic you were and however challenging or optimistic you were, we were still faced with life's challenges. And it's more about how we handle them and what we do to move through the challenges and how we ride the highs and we manage our challenges, the lows of our lives. There is no one size fits all, and no book is the same. Every book is different. Every story is different. Your story will be different to my story, and your challenges will be different to my challenges, and your family's challenges will be different to your challenges. Everybody is in their own story. Whether we think we're in an amalgamated story with our family, we're in our own story. And it is about accepting that we're all in different journeys and different paths. And it's how we interact and how we manage our way through those challenges. One of my big challenges is always the technology. And I'm getting better. And at the same time, it does challenge me on occasions. And sometimes it doesn't work. Now I don't get frustrated to the point that I get upset, I simply handle it by getting practical. And that's something that I'm going to be sharing with you during the course of this talk about how we can become practical rather than emotional, and rather than being emotionally upset, saddened, angry, or frustrated, how we can move those challenges to our advantage and to a wisdom, to turning the challenges into learnings and wisdom. And here today, we are going to look at how we can resolve or lessen the pressure of our new year and the pressure of wanting or needing or feeling or being expected to perform how we think we should do and how others expect us to perform, and the things that we are expecting of ourselves and others are expecting of us. New Year provides so many challenges. I've been bombarded already, and I hadn't really been on social media very much because I spent and decided to spend the New Year's Eve and New Year in silent and in song, in meditation. And I chose to not be in my social media pages and just to post one thing about where I was going. And I did that deliberately because I'm so much there in the social media that I forget about my own self-care sometimes, or I forget to allow space to be who I want to be or even need to be for myself. And this was something that has been taught to me and brought up for me by a very dear friend who I spent and shared a New Year's meditational concert and evening with. But she took time out to self-care, she called it. She took time out to take care of herself because she had had a lot of challenges during the year. I honour that and felt a need to respond by way of saying, I applaud you for taking time out to self-care and to be with yourself. Sometimes we forget to make an appointment. We forget, and we make an appointment with everything else and everyone else and all the things that we're meant to do. But we sometimes forget to make an appointment with ourselves. And my new year I spent in making an appointment and literally dropping everything. I'd been everything to everybody over the Christmas period and not really being much to myself. I had been everything that I could be, that I should have been in all of my commitments. And then by the time I got to New Year's Eve, I was quite exhausted and I felt it was time to renew, to replenish, and to come back to my practice. So even I can forget to come back and think about myself and think about what's important to me. And so my first thing to you is to say and to recognize and build in you an awareness of sometimes we can be bombarded with so many messages that we forget to be with ourselves. We forget about what's important to us. The messages will still be there when after you've taken your space and your time to be with yourself. If we are everything to everyone and we are enacting in a space of practical and logical the whole time, we can lose our identity in who we really are and what we're meant to be doing for ourselves. And sometimes we can be very lost in the mind and the thinking and the activities that we're supposed to be doing, that we need to do, and we can get lost in the activity of not getting everything done, the to-do list. And the to-do list always is a list. And sometimes that to-do list can grow and grow. And I've been at fault at not getting everything done on my to-do list and feeling quite anxious and angry at myself at not getting everything done. But do you know what? The to-do list is always going to be there. It's always a to-do list. So remember, we are not machines. We are human. And to err is to be human. And if you forget something, it's okay. If you don't get to something, always sincerely apologize. And then always show that you didn't mean to forget anything or anyone. That sometimes things get in the way and the list gets longer and something gets forgotten. And so be human. Don't feel that it's you have to be the machine and do everything at the moment that it comes in. It might be because you're preoccupied doing something else. It might be that you're being something for someone else, somewhere else, in another zone of your life. I've been watching over a period of weeks now a drama called The OA on Netflix. And it's been quite difficult because I fall asleep sometimes, and then I miss where I am, and then I lose the plot, and then I go back to it. And it's been quite extraordinary because it's been talking about, and the whole series is about a place where we reside, that we might be in one dimension or another dimension. And I really related to that because when I'm working and on screen, I'm in one dimension. And when I do my meditation, I'm in another dimension, not actually really associated with the screen and the TV. And at the same time, I bring what I can of my other dimension to this TV screen to share with you what it can be like. And you might think that I might be rehearsed and I might have all of this written down. And actually, I have some prompts to make sure I cover all the things that I want to cover and to make sure that I don't lose track of time. But the rest of it is whatever comes out. The rest of it is me being here with you right now in this very moment. And in this very moment, I want to share with you how New Year and all of your challenges can be overcome. Now, New Year, it specifically looks at and forces you to reflect, especially with all the messages in social media and all the messages that we're getting bombarded with in all types of media, whether it be TV, radio, printed, social media, and all of the channels. Social media in particular forces us to reflect. I've seen a lot of messages reflecting on what a great year people have had, and what a fantastic place this is to be. And at the same time acknowledging that it's also been a challenging year and all of the great things that have happened despite the challenges. My invitation for you here is to focus on and to look at what went well and what you did well, what you gained the most from. And it might be some simple things. It might not be the big things that other people are talking about, but focus on what you achieved personally, what felt good for you. It might have been that you just took some time out of your day to take a walk in the park, or it might be that you met up with some friends and had that special connection and that special gathering with your friends. It doesn't matter how small or how mediocre or how large or how over the top it is, but focusing on some good things that happened is a really good way to move into your new year. In my meditation evening, we did a number of different types of meditation and different types of practices, and one of them was to look at the challenges and what we learnt from those challenges. And what did we learn in terms of the wisdom? Because a challenge can keep appearing time after time after time when we don't relish and take on board the wisdom from that challenge. And I always say to myself, or to others if I think about it, what would I do differently next time so that I could overcome this challenge? So I'm not faced with this particular challenge again. What would I do differently? How would I approach this? What have I learnt? And what would I do in the future? What decisions would I make in the future that would be different from now? And how would my decision impact others and myself? Because over the Christmas period, I was in a place of challenge and a place of reward. I was in a place of growth and in a place of huge wisdom. And it gave me insights in terms of some decisions that I'm looking to make. So even though at times it was very challenging, it was extremely rewarding with the fact that it gave me some insights in terms of some of the decisions that I will make in future affecting my life and others. And this gave me great strength and great purpose, knowing that I didn't have to wrangle with some decisions that I didn't know how to make. And decisions are not the easiest thing when we come to New Year, because we always want to be over the top and make big decisions about the big things in life that we should be doing, we should be telling others about. Sometimes it's the small decisions. Sometimes it's the smallest decision, the smallest aspect that makes the biggest impact. So never deny yourself the opportunity to think about, contemplate, and look back and reflect on the challenges and what you will do differently next time. Now, where stress and anxiety resides is when you focus on what you didn't do right. If you're focused on what you didn't do right and what you should have done better, and I should have done this and I should have done that, these types of words, should and must and have to and I needed to but I didn't do, they're beating yourself about with a stick, and they don't help you. They don't move you into a place of wisdom. They move you into a place, if you're not too careful, of depression, focusing on the past where you can't change the past. One of my trainers that I trained with a couple of decades ago now, before social media was the way that it is today, he had a phrase called pack-sept. And I thought it was a really interesting one. And it was looking at past things, that you can't change or influence what happened. You can accept it. And you can move from that acceptance into a new space. Whatever you did wrong or somebody else did wrong, you can't change what happened. You can change your perspective, and you can change how you choose to respond next time. And you can take the wisdom, because that's what it is. You can take the wisdom from that experience. And the wisdom is key here when you're reflecting and looking back at your year, when you're reflecting on how your year went, no matter how bad or challenging or rewarding or how mediocre. One of the big things that causes stress, anxiety, and depression is to compare yourself with someone else's world, to compare what they did versus what you did or didn't do. When you're in a space of compare and contrast, this is the place of madness. This is the place of leading to mental, emotional, and physical disarray. This is the place of sincere uncomfortableness. And I don't want anyone to move into a place of uncomfortableness at the beginning of a new year. This is what many of us do. We focus on what didn't work, what we should have done better, and what mistakes we made. And when we've done something well, we seem to skirt over it and forget and look at what didn't happen. And this is very much a mind thing, that we focus on what didn't work, what we didn't do well. I remember when I was doing one of my exams for a coaching and NLP course very recently last year, I worked really hard, and I never feel when I'm doing any exams that I'm ready, that I give it my all, and I give it my all in every aspect of the teaching and in embracing new concepts and ideas and in my personal growth. And I never feel ready when studying an exam in exam conditions. And when I got my results back, I landed up with 96%, I think it was, for my written. And what I did straight away was I looked at where I lost the 4%, where I lost the marks, and what I could do better. I didn't focus on initially, wow, I got 96%. That means I was only 4% off 100%. So what did I do wrong? And this is the mind mentality, if we don't kind of step in and take charge, that the mind mentality focuses on the negative. And even I have that going on, unless I step back, take a pause, and then look at the good stuff. But I did look at, because I had feedback from all of my questions, what I did well, how I could have expanded it, and what I left out. And it gave me some insight of what I could do differently and better. And then more recently, I had another exam, and this examiner gave me a really, really high mark. I think it was 92%. And this particular examiner, she didn't tell me where I could do better. She just marked the paper as to what I did well and how well I came across in the practical and the written exam. She marked me both on the practical exam and the written exam. And I asked her for feedback. I said, well, I was looking for where I could do better. She said, oh, no, I don't work like that. I don't mark anyone down. I give you encouragement and I mark on what you presented, not on what you didn't present. And it was a 92% presentation, and you did really well. You should be proud of yourself. And sometimes I feel that when I do well, I question. And this will be very human for many people to question when they did well and when they didn't do so well. So notice when you question and you put yourself into a negative light, or the actions or the activity go into a negative light, question it and observe how you feel when you focus on the negative. And I ask you this as an invitation to look at the same scenario and look at what you did well and how you felt and how others felt around you. And from that space, you will feel differently, and you will have learnt something about yourself and about how you handle the situations. And this is the place of gratitude. When you are grateful for things that happened, that you did well, or somebody else did well, or you felt differently, I always say, thank you so much for doing that. That was very kind of you to consider that. And thank you very much for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. That was really kind of you. And in saying those kinds of things, that was really kind of you, and thank you. It moves you into a heart vibration space, which is a higher vibration and makes you feel different. It makes you feel in a space of grace. It puts you into a space of feeling better than you would have done if you focused on the negative things. So here's the first invitation. Look at what you did that made you feel good. Look at what you did that made others feel good. And look at the wisdom that you have learned from the situation, this experience, this conversation. Look at what you gained. And if there is only the challenge, look at what you will do differently next time. And that is your wisdom. And you will feel differently. I also want to share with you, I had a very good friend that was a monk. And he shared with me that the monks are always in challenge. And they're usually small challenges, daily, every day. And that made me feel quite humble, because if I was in challenge, he was always there. And when he shared with me that the monks are always in challenge, and that is the path to move forward to transcendence, it is the path of the higher place of residing, the place of transcendence, the place of optimal experiences in life. And he called it the afterlife, that he would raise to the challenge of learning and growing through the wisdom that he learned. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because when we're in a place of challenge, especially when we're reflecting at New Year, especially looking at a challenging year, whether it be an emotional challenging year, a mentally challenging year, a physical challenging year with sickness, or whether it be a challenging year with family, with loved ones, with people that really challenged our very existence of how we respond and how we feel. However you experience your challenge, always be in a space of gratitude, because when somebody offers you up in a space of challenge and offers you the opportunity to be in challenge. This is your opportunity to grow. This is your opportunity to gain some wisdom. This is your opportunity to decide how you respond and react next time and what you do differently next time. This is also a time for you to understand and accept who remains in your life and who leaves your life, because we are here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes relationships cause challenges that are beyond the hope and scope of repair. This is your acceptance, your way of being able to say, thank you for the challenges. I have moved through this challenge and I feel rewarded by opening my door for the next challenge. Rather than ingratiating yourself in, you did this, you did that, and in the blame game, move into a place of gratitude. Say thank you. If they did something wrong or they did something bad, go into a place internally of forgiveness, because we have challenges for reasons, and our challenge may be different to the next person's. And thank them for that challenge. What did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? What will you do differently next time? And put it on your list of things. I'm not saying if something that was done was so bad and so uncomfortable that you should forgive them. You forgive what they did. It's not about the forgiveness of the other person. The forgiveness is for yourself. We all wander around with very busy minds, and we all wander around in a state of being in the practical, in the zone of the practical. And we forget that it is about living, not existing. If something doesn't work, question what you did, what part you played that made it not work, and learn from that experience. That sometimes friendships, relationships, they're over. And we don't know how to let go properly without shame, without blame, and without guilt. And so we make our way into the blame and shame game. My invitation for you is to, if you notice that that is happening, to stop, to pause, to take a break, and to move above it and over it, and take your lessons from what didn't work. What would you do differently next time? To go into a tennis match creates a challenge for you and the other person, and never resolves in great things. It never resolves in a good space being met by either party. My invitation to you is to move through the uncomfortableness of what came up for you, because that's yours to handle. Whatever it was that came up for you, whatever feelings, emotions, your reaction, your response is your aim. The reaction and response of others is their aim. What we do sometimes is we take on other people's stuff and we think it's our own to handle, but not always. And we don't know because we're so in the moment of whatever that argument might be about, that there might be something else going on in their world. My invitation for you is, if you're responding and reacting, to look at internally what's coming up for you, what it's bringing up for you to resolve. And this is the gift. This is the gift, the humanness, the human gift that the other person is giving to you. Rather than getting into a tennis match and going backwards and forwards with comments and shame and blame comments, stop and take on board your reaction, your response. I have a phrase that I use quite frequently, and it's something that I do as much as I can, and that is to give someone an experience. How is it that you leave them? What experience, what feeling do you leave them with? And I've had the opportunity over the Christmas and the New Year to travel to my family in Birmingham and with friends to my meditation in London. And I've had the opportunity to sit next to and to be in the company of a lot of strangers, people I don't know, people I've never spoken to before. And I always practice this ritual of saying something kind, saying something nice, sharing something, giving them something. Not even giving them my name. Sometimes I'm not giving them what I do for work. I'm just giving them something. And sometimes when they share back and they're in some kind of turmoil or stress, I share my card. And when I give my card, it's because it's given with an invitation. Call me, follow me, check out my videos on USA Global TV and Radio. There's a lot of help there, and I give a lot of direction, and they're really transmissions. They're really things to help you when things are challenging and difficult. Check out the titles of some of my talks. You will find a lot of support, guidance, and help. Please do. And sometimes I don't give my name or my details. How is it that I leave them? And this is the gift I want you to take on board. How do people feel when they're in your company? What impression did you leave when you left their company? How did you feel and how did they feel? How do you want to feel and how do you want them to feel? No matter how you're feeling, whether you're feeling challenged, upset, angry, frustrated, how do you want to really feel? And how you want to feel, pass that as a gift for the other person, no matter what challenges you are facing. Stress can be managed by how we respond and how we react. And it's a decision that we can make purely for ourselves. And understanding how we feel is the first place of recovery. It's the first place of moving into a state of gratitude and a state of moving things into a more positive space. Forget all the social media and all the big positive messages that people are leaving you and expecting of you. And do what's right for you rather than stepping into an identity of what I should do and what I must do, and having this big glorified list of New Year's resolutions, which brings me to my next topic of New Year's resolutions. It was something that I did for many, many years. And a resolution was something that was sometimes very far out there for me. And then very recently, in the recent few decades, I realized that the resolutions weren't really working for me because I set big goals and sometimes they didn't work. And I would feel frustrated that they didn't work. And then I would feel upset that I didn't do it. And I thought this resolution thing doesn't work. So my invitation for you is to set realistic resolutions, even like sort of leaving the word resolutions out, and make decisions about what you choose to be, what you choose for your life, and what you choose for others. A resolution is usually looking at something that's just not working. But what about deciding? What about deciding what you want to achieve, what you want to do? And making a list of your decisions, because you are source. You are the most important person. It's not about competing. It's not about being in a competition with anyone else on social media or any other platform that you are in. It's about showing up and being your true, authentic self. And what's right for you might not be right for thousands of others. But if you show up as your authentic self, you can be forever in a space of gratitude. Small things lead to big things. So be mindful of what you decide to change, what you decide that you want for your life. Sometimes people make New Year's resolutions and say, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 3 stone in 6 weeks. That might be completely unachievable. And my invitation for you is to focus on small goals, small steps, and you can always make a new decision partway through your year at a bigger goal once you've reached your smaller goal. I call it the elephant syndrome. The elephant's a huge thing, but why not take small pieces of the elephant so that you can focus on the little things creating the big picture? When you are in high levels of anxiety and irritability, you will have a setting of procrastination because the thing's too big. You will bring in self-doubt, and this is not good for creating what you really want to create for yourself, for your family, for your communities, and for the world. Physical signs of feeling anxious or stressed or depressed can give you fatigue, headaches, and disrupted sleep patterns. And if your sleep is disrupted and you're not able to replenish the body, the mental alertness, and the mind, then everything goes awry and everything becomes more difficult. So when you are focused on replenishing your own internal needs and requirements by nourishing your body with good food, by nourishing your body with the right nutrients rather than junk food, by nourishing your mind with good things rather than the difficult things. When you focus on that something that is good and something that you achieved, then you set an internal reset mechanism, an internal button that focuses and gives you more of what you have achieved and more of what you're grateful for. This will give you a movement of motivation in your year ahead. If you are focusing on unresolved things, this will dampen your optimism. So shifting from stress to renewal. The power of perspective is really important. Focus on what you are feeling good about and leave the rest. It is not about being a perfectionist. It is about giving yourself the opportunity for growth and the opportunity to achieve everything that you wish to achieve for yourself. Some practical things to go away with is some mindfulness techniques, and I've been sharing a few with you during this talk. The pause and taking a breath and focusing on what's important is one of the best ways to stop and to reflect. It's one of the best ways that stops you from spiraling into this deep and deepening in-depth tunnel of despair. To focus on what works well, what is good for you. Focusing on what doesn't work and what didn't work and how you could have done something better will only lead you down to the spiral of demise. Focus on what worked. Simple breathing practices and journaling. Write your innermost thoughts down on paper, even if they are negative ones, and you will find that writing them down and journaling them will move them out of your mind onto the paper. And it's also a way of clearing and cleansing your whole entire being. I've had a problem in the past with journaling because I never sit still long enough to write stuff down. And when I have journaled, I've always found such power in journaling, in writing it down. It's almost like it empties out and it's cleansed, and it leaves you in a space of feeling more abundant. Set boundaries that are right for you and right for others. If you don't set boundaries, don't be surprised that other people will step right over them and right into your personal space. Set healthy boundaries that are right for you and right for other people around you. It's important to be doing things that are right for you, because then other people will treat you with more respect and appreciate you in a much bigger way than if you allow them to enter your boundaries and walk all over them. But set healthy boundaries, not boundaries that people can't come to you, but boundaries that are healthy for you and for those around you. And meaningful goals. Set something that's meaningful for you and meaningful for your life. What doesn't fit for you, set aside and leave it to the rest. Set aside what doesn't work for you. I have a saying and a prescription of one size doesn't fit all. What's right for you might not be right for someone else. So set your own personal goals and your own personal levels of what you want to feel and achieve and experience within your year ahead. And steps to setting goals is set them smart. Focus on the small things and change those things slowly. Use SMART, specific, as a framework. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Celebrate your small wins, as I was describing earlier. And next and finally, set yourself a place to celebrate. Move into a place of celebration with everything that you do. And I wish you a very happy new year. I wish you a very happy 2025. And if you need a reminder, step back into this talk for a reminder of what will work for you, might not work for someone else. Small goals. And you can achieve whatever you want. I wish you every success for 2025. And I look forward to seeing you in my coming talks this year. Thank you very much for your attention and your interest. Please subscribe to USA Global TV and Radio. You can find all of my Talking Heads episodes under the playlist Talking Heads. Please do reach out if I may be of service to you. You can reach me on No More Stress at live.co.uk or call me if you're international +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. I look forward to helping you bust your stress. Namaste.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions, designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacalyn.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today.